every speaker has been great. And I got to follow up. It's a little weird, a little hard too. So next, this gentleman's coming up. He's been a technology coach in Canada for the last 2 years. What's that? 2 decades. Oh, okay. Oh, got it. Last 2 decades, he's been a techie. I won't get this one wrong. He's been married for 18 years, and he just celebrated his anniversary last week. So let's give him a round of applause for that before we get started. The man started 2 businesses from scratch in 2021. He's a 3-time author, 2-time award-winning podcast host, and a producer for the last 3 years. And this man, for the last 6 months, has been living a life that some of us would aspire to. He's been a digital nomad for the last 6 months. He's been traveling literally across the 2 or 3 continents, easy to say the least. This man I had the opportunity to meet earlier this year. And when I got to meet him, when we exchanged information and pleasantries and we started talking about stuff that we both enjoyed, watching him light up to talk about what he's passionate about and what he does and how he operates is an experience unto itself. The man is very knowledgeable, and one of the most awesome things I could say about him is he genuinely loves what he does, and he loves to add value to the things that he does and help show other people. So, ladies and gentlemen and Zoomies, let's give a wonderful round of applause for the amazing Michael.
Wait, oh, I wasn't going to. You going to.
Yeah, Dan, I got you.
Props. Awesome, no worries. Props. Make some noises. Well, just
we might need a bigger boat.
No. Just make noise. Make noise. Let's see. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Good morning, Zoomies. Your energy is amazing. I love it. Okay, maybe too many. That's okay. We'll pick them up and drop them. Okay. So let's see. Hello, I'm Michael Duffy, a redneck from Alberta, Canada. If you know where that is, if not, go look it up on Google. We're really. Yes, the stereotype is true. I drive a big truck, a big 1-ton truck. If you find me on Facebook, it's easy. Just go look up Michael Faber's Friends, and you'll see I've been posting our digital nomad travels all across Canada, USA, and Dubai. So I'm currently living as a digital nomad with my wife, daughter, and we brought 3 dogs with us. So it's a little bit of a challenge and a little bit uncomfortable, but that's what you got to be when you're an entrepreneur. You got to learn to be uncomfortable. So I've been a lifelong technology coach, helping business owners with their technology for decades. So I, started in the 90s with computers before the internet, did that in high school, university, and I meet people. If we get along, that's amazing. And then they just start picking my brain and I help them. So doctors, executives, business owners, you name it, I help them with their technology, and I just say, ask me anything, and I'm going to give you the blunt truth about what you're using and how you need to get from a 5-figure business to a 6-figure business to a 7-figure business and beyond, right? So 3 years ago, I was forced to restart my business from scratch, from zero clients. But before I get started, if my story resonates with you, please reach out. So we're going to test this as a brand new system we're using. My New Jersey number is 1-908-504-7470. So if you can put that in the chat, we're going to test this out. I want you to text the word Delaware to 1-908-504-7470. There might be a minute or 2 delay, right? This way, I will tag you as being part of the Unleash You Now community. No spam, and it's text number only. We won't be calling you with cold calling because I'm here to provide value. I'm not here to sell you. If you resonate with my message, perfect. We'll be besties for the rest of our lives, right? When you text me, this phone number is a 2-way text system. You'll be asked to opt in to receive text messages. That way, it's all legal. And the message will come from Don't Get Hacked Cybersecurity, one of the new startups, and then my podcast creation and distribution system company in New Jersey called MupoEntertainment.com. So just like Lori, I brand everywhere as I go. You can opt out at any time. Again, text Delaware to 1-908-504-7470. I like to provide value and build long-term relationships with you. This is how I built my business since 2005 and restarted from scratch in 2021. And teaser alert, when I had to learn how to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and walking away from a 17-year-old business in 2021 and restarting from scratch, I used the power of the long-term relationships I already had, right? Just a hint for all the business owners out there. You must own your customer list. That is the hard, cold truth I learned in 2019. I was part of a franchise. I didn't own someone pointed out to me, you don't own your customer list. So if anything happens, you better have those names, emails, phone numbers in your phone. Because that list you have, if you don't own it, it can be taken away tomorrow. And what are you going to do if that's taken away tomorrow? So if you texted the number, your gift is a copy of my book, Brand Sharks. So I brought this. I've got physical copies. My first book. I'm a 3-time author, so my first book's Brand Sharks. And I've got a physical copy for everybody here. The link you'll get from the text message is to go to my YouTube channel. I'm fully monetized on YouTube. We have a playlist. I read the book to you, so you can fast forward at your own pace. And just a warning, I'm a co-author in it. Some of these stories, like I cry when I read people's stories because everybody's so genuine. And if you're a business owner and you've been doing it for decades, you've lived the hard knock life, right? And we want to share that with you because the great thing with meeting everybody, and for a lot of you for the first time, some of you I met like 6 months ago. The great thing with meeting everybody first time, everybody's got such powerful stories, and it's best to learn from everybody, right? That's how we grow a community, right? We learn from everybody. How do we get stronger? We learn from everybody. Okay. Let's see here. If your business this is what I teach people all the time as a technology coach. If your business is only on Facebook or LinkedIn, or you have a multi-level marketing company, you need everybody's phone number, their email addresses in your phone, in your Rolodex, wherever. Make sure you got that. If you take anything from me today, make sure you have your own customer list, because mine was taken away from me. And I had to just grind and grind and grind and rebuild it from scratch. Okay, so some of the speakers over the last 2 days have mentioned growing up poor in a trailer or in the back of a van. I don't quite have that experience as a child, but I do now live in a trailer with no fixed address. To be fancy, bougie, we call it digital nomad lifestyle. 6 months ago, my wife and I and our 12-year-old daughter decided we needed a change. We moved out of our comfortable life in a custom dream home house that we built in 2015 that we had saved and saved and saved through our 20s. Like I saved up 15 years. My wife wanted a house. She wanted a garden. She wanted land. We built that. We saved for 15 years to build what we thought would be our forever home. However, since March 2020, it has felt more like a prison. I'll come back to how your house is like a prison story. We moved into a trailer that we could pull around North America. And we went from a comfortable life to now living in a new life that can be sometimes comfortable, but is full of uncomfortable moments all day long. And you just have to move through it. You get a little bit angry and you're like, you know what? We've put ourselves in this position to keep growing as humans. Like, where do we sleep tonight? Our farm that is 3 hours away from our house. So literally, if I want to go back to my house to get something, I got to drive 6 hours round trip. Do we sleep on the side of the road? Do we sleep in a Walmart parking lot? Do we, go visit a friend in New Jersey and ask to park in front of their house for a week? Like, this is what we got to figure out every single day. My mother-in-law asked me, how long is this for? I can't come and visit you. And we're like, we'll just come visit you and park in front of your house for a week and then figure out how to run the business. We got Starlink. We'll just figure it out, right? What are you going to do in winter when it's minus 30 to minus 40? And I live in southern Canada, like 3 hours north of Montana, and it's cold December to April. What are you going to do? You can't live in a trailer in that temperature, right? Well, our plan was to escape the Canadian winter because in Alberta, Canada, it is minus 30, minus 40. You're going to freeze to death. Well, here I am in Delaware. Thanks for the invite. Guess how long of a drive it is from Edmonton, Alberta to Delaware? 2,500 miles. Yeah. And guess what? My 2-year-old truck, I got a brand new 2022 Chevy Silverado Duramax diesel 1-ton. It broke down in Indiana. Got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. We called AAA 1 hour east of Chicago on Thursday night, October 31st. So we did trick-or-treating in Indiana. And we're like, hey, we're going to just keep driving, go head up Jersey, and drive 2 hours south. Broke down at 11 p.m. on I-90 East, and waited 14 hours for the tow truck. So that's the story for you. I am told this is normal. I've never had to call a tow truck through AAA in America. First time. I don't normally break down. So that's the lesson. So 14 hours waiting for 2 tow trucks is one. The truck broke. So wait for the tow truck and then wait for a specialized tow truck to haul the trailer away, right? And of course, it's your property, so you want to verify things get to the proper place because you're like, that's a mortgage payment, and that's a mortgage payment. Nothing's cheap anymore, right? So tow trucks are expensive. I was waiting for 2 of them. Get yourself roadside assistance package, because even if you're calm and patient and wait that 14 hours, only 1 hour outside of a major city. So just imagine if it was anywhere else, Pennsylvania or whatever, right? Each of those tow truck bills was $500 for 1 hour tow. But I got AAA, so we're good, right? Yeah, just my life in the last couple of years has learned how to be uncomfortable. Sorry, there, I touched something. Okay, so what do you do in that situation? What do you do? I've just learned to be comfortable in the uncomfortableness. I told my wife and daughter to take the 3 dogs, get in the camper, turn on the furnace. Well, I slept in the truck waiting for the tow truck. And I'm like, how am I going to call my friend where we just left their house and say, hey, can we park our trailer in front of your house for like a week, a month? I have no idea what's going on with that situation. But he's sleeping. I got to wait 10 hours till he wakes up in the morning to call him and deal with that situation. But he obliged. So, you know what? It's great. Everything worked out. We made it here. I booked a flight, got the trailer towed back. Took my wife, my daughter, go get groceries, and they're like, you guys went for sushi last night. So why did you tell me you went for sushi last night? We're not in Delaware. It's warmer there than Indiana, and you went for sushi. And plus, I'm not flying back. I'm going to go up to New York, and then I'm going to go off to Dubai. So what's going on with the truck? Well, since we've been living 6 months in, we've already spent time this summer in the USA. We were in, my office is in New Jersey, the podcast company. I've already had issues with this truck. So we're like, hey, we're going to buy a new trailer, haul ourselves across North America, and not realizing with a 2-year-old truck, we're going to run into problems all the time with this thing, right? So you have a plan and you're just going to throw it out the window. That's what my chapter in this book is about, always having a plan and always being okay. You're going to change the plan, but as long as you got a plan, you're going to stay calm and be comfortable in the uncomfortableness of life, right? So, truck, I've been waiting for parts since August. So we're going to drive her till she broke, and she broke in Indiana. So we broke down in New Jersey this summer. We broke down in Quebec City, got back to Canada, and we're like, when are we going to go to the US? Well, before we freeze, I got the invite to come here. I was supposed to be in Phoenix. That canceled. Michael reached out. I'm like, hey, Delaware sounds great too. Whatever. Like, I'm open for the adventure of the digital nomad lifestyle. Let's keep on rolling. Let's keep on trucking, right? So you see me here, and now you see me here as a digital nomad only 6 months in. And everybody's like, well, why are you choosing this lifestyle? Well, we're going to step back in time to 2019, 2020. As I said, 2019, I found out I didn't know my customer list, and that just kind of started. And then we hit the pandemic, And all these things in life changed. And we're like, you know what? We're just going to roll with it and live our best life. So I've been talking about getting uncomfortable and expecting the unexpected and rising up from those challenges. Everybody, in Zoomies, everybody in this room, are you comfortable in your life or do you live in the uncomfortableness? What if your train of comfortable hits a brick wall? How are you going to react? So I had a franchise. I started 2005 as Canadian franchise based out of London, Ontario, Canada. Technology support. We drove red Volkswagen Beetles around. So if you look up at my Facebook, you'll see the red Volkswagen Beetles. I stopped that business in 2021. I knew I had an issue with the business for like a decade, but didn't really address it because I was comfortable. There was money coming in, leads were coming in. I was living the comfortable life, 10, 20,000 a month. I was living the comfortable 6-figure lifestyle. The leads stopped coming in January 2019. And I was like, why did the leads stop coming? We had a 1-800 number. We're doing email marketing. We're doing all this stuff. Why did the leads stop coming in 2019? I wasn't in charge of marketing. So what I figured out after, I'm a tech guy, I'm going to figure out where our leads are coming in from. They stopped paying for Google ads, right? So once I figured, I had a list. So we had business, but I'm like, we were getting 10, 15 calls per day. And I'm great at sales when, I get along with you and I can fix your problem. So we were converting, no problem. But most of like 80% of our business, 60 to 80% was all that new business that was coming in and it just stopped. And then I was told, well, we're going to go public. We can't spend money on ads anymore. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm not in charge of this business. This business is running me, right? So then I started like doing some stuff and talking to people about maybe starting a new business, et cetera, et cetera. I had a business. I had somebody a business reach out to me and they're like, we want to buy your business. And I was like, okay. And we went down that whole thing and they're like, you don't own your customer list. And I was like, nobody, and like I had however long that was, like 14 years of running a business, no business coach, I've gone through a ton of it, no business coach had ever pointed out, I don't own my customer list. And I was like, what? So I've been running this business. I'm not running a business. This business is running me. I'm comfortable and I need to, like, how do you get off that comfortable train, right? So that was the second, like, comfort train. I can't sell this business because I don't own it. I'm just franchisee. We weren't really franchisees, but that's what I equate it to. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do business development, join Grant Cardone, join 10X, start learning what I need to do so I can train myself to be ready for when the next comfortable train hits. Like, what's going to hit me next? So I'm doing all this business development. I was in the USA. I was at the GrowthCon in February 2020. So I was in Vegas meeting all these new people, still wearing my old shirt because I was still attached to that old identity, right? We went to Disneyland. We had a great time. Get back to Canada. Lockdown starts. I can't go on site because I know in the United States, every state was a little bit different. In Canada, everything shut down, right? You couldn't do anything. And customers were scared to even talk to you on the phone because everybody's like, oh, it's like 2 weeks. We're going to just ride out the 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks turns into a month. And you know the rest of the story. Well, we like traveling, right? We love travel. We probably travel 3-4 times a year. We just jump on a jet plane, go to Mexico, go to Florida. My parents live in the east coast of Canada, opposite side of Canada from where I live. You get there by flying. Well, the US border closed for 3 years, March 20th to March 2023. So I'm like, I can't go to the US for 3. Like, we didn't even know how long it was going to be. So I'm like, no more vacations. Then Canada. Okay. And then, of course, we get to, we're dealing with the pandemic bullshit, right? So everybody's going to have a different opinion on this. I come from Canada. I've got the opposite opinion of most Canadians, but I'm a redneck from Alberta. So, Exactly. So I'm told that I can't get on a plane in Canada because I choose not to be vaccinated. And we're like, at that point, we're like, I know I've got business friends driving across the US-Canada border, but they've got corporations in the US and they're Canadians and they're not vaxxed. So we're going to just try driving across the border. And that would have been 2022. I can't even remember the day because we got ready. We tried to leave. We got denied. And my wife's like, we're literally locked in a prison. We can't leave our country. We can't get on a plane. I can't go visit friends and family. Then they said you can't drive across borders, like provincial, like we don't have states, we have provinces. Like it's illegal to drive across, to the next place. And you're just like, what is going on? This is crazy. You know what? I can adapt. My business is the single income source for the family. I can adapt to Zoom, met a ton of people on Zoom, and just kept on going, right? Just kept on going. Then I get an email. So I was prepared, I was working for 2 years. I'm like, I got to build a new brand. But how do you step away from a business that you've put 17 years into building it, right? And there's money coming. There's money coming in. July 1st, 2021. So Canada Day in Canada. Yours is, 4th of July. So we, pretty close. July 1st, 2021, I get an email. And I'm like, I can't believe the verbiage in this email. Like, I showed my wife, I'm like, I can't believe this. Like, we have to GTFO. We have to, we need a new plan for life. We need a new plan for life because the comfort train, is officially stopped. No, we could work within the rules, and just keep all of our anger inside. We could just say, hence the trailer life, because hey, we can drive ourselves across our province and go visit cool stuff, and we're near the mountains and we can go skiing. But I got the email saying I'm legally now allowed in Canada. I could still help Americans over the phone and people around the world over Zoom. I got an email July 1st, 2021 saying legally I can not serve anybody not vaccinated. We had the vaccine passports. Well, I'm now being told I cannot serve people who are not vaccinated. The whole province of Alberta didn't follow we didn't have any law, so I was like, okay, this is really ridiculous, and I'm like, okay. I talked to my lawyer. My lawyer's like, he's in Alberta. He's like, just send them your 30 days notice. You're just going to have to leave and you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. You just have to start from scratch, right? At the same time in 2021, though, we were planning on escaping. We needed a new vehicle. We're like, hey, I like those Jeeps, and everybody likes Jeeps, right? It was one of those vehicles. I was like, since I was 16, I wanted a Jeep, right? So all this stuff kind of happened in 2020, 2021. Just your life changes, all the comfortableness, throw it out the window. But my wife's like, we need a new vehicle. We really like those Jeeps. And I'm like, I agree. And all the new Jeeps look really cool. So we're like, perfect. We'll go get a new Jeep. And we're planning to launch a new brand. We'll go get a new Jeep. We'll decal it up, and that will be our new vehicle. Lemon from day one. 2021 Jeep Gladiator, white one, look cool. I got awesome pictures with it, awesome branding pictures. Lemon from day one, right? And that's an $85,000 financed vehicle, right? So it's it was the most expensive vehicle I've ever put my name on. So I was like, okay, picked it up, check engine light every day, take it back to the dealer, take it back. I think I got it at the end of May. I surrendered it to the Chrysler Jeep dealership June. I think we drove it for 2 weeks. It was shut down on the highway, just all these issues, right? And we have no lemon laws in Canada, so you can't even get it, send it back and get your money back. So I'm stuck on this 8-9 year finance for a vehicle that's a piece of shit. Anyway, so we surrendered it, and then and of course during COVID, there's no parts for anything. There's no parts, right? And they won't call me with the ETA. It's like GMC right now with my 2022 diesel. There's no ETA for these parts. But I'm like, hey, at least I'm in America. You let me back in. I love you all. I'm going to have new friends. It's good. I'm not going to freeze in winter. It's 2024. I'm not going to freeze. I'm down here for winter. But I've got this Jeep that's haunting me in 2021. So we got it back in August, and they're like, I'm like, what was the problem? Oh, melted wiring harness. I'm like, what the hell's a melted wiring harness? Oh, the wires that connect everything in your engine to all your headlights melted. I'm like, how could it be melted? It's brand new. Is that the quality of the parts that they're using? Anyway, so we drove that Jeep. We loved it. Took the roof off, and this is exactly what we wanted for a vehicle. That thing, any other, so I don't know if anybody's been to Calgary, Alberta. We got a ring road around the city, and we live about 45 minutes outside the city. So we were, we're going to go to the amusement park on the west side of the city before you get to the Rocky Mountains. So we got loaded the whole family up. We're driving out there. We didn't know there was an issue. Beautiful sunny day, lots of vehicles on the road. Any other variable would have changed the course of our lives. So we're driving, and there's all these people honking at us. And I'm like, what the fuck are they honking at? I'm like, I'm not speeding. I'm not driving like an idiot. The vehicle was on fire from underneath. So if you got the link for my YouTube, there's a video of this fireball that, like, if we were driving at nighttime, if we were in the mountains, any other variable in that day, like, we wouldn't have known that thing was on fire because we got out just in time before it exploded and burnt itself to the ground. So somebody is looking out for us and saying, you're supposed to be here, you're supposed to be helping people, but you need to change your vehicle. You need to change your vehicle. The way you're going through life, you've been living too comfortable. And here's the final reminder that you change it now and you don't complain about anything and just keep going and helping people, right? So what's my time like? Perfect. Awesome. So that's why I'm here. I got an invite from Michael. I just met you guys 6 months ago, and it's amazing. I love your community, and I want you to unleash yourselves. Like, no holds barred. Like, if you want to do something in your business, your life, do it now, because tomorrow's never guaranteed.